Hi everyone, my name is Samuel, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a Brit living and waiting to work in Canada. Now, I've lived in Kelowna, British Columbia, for about 7 months now, and I really like it here. In fact, the last video I did was 5 things that I like more about Canada than the UK. However, there are some things that I really miss about home. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing on my list is about pricing. Not the prices, but the way things are labeled. In Canada, the prices do not include tax, whereas in the UK, the price on the label is exactly the price that you pay. Another frustrating element to the way things are priced in Canada, or at least British Columbia, but I assume it's the same for the whole of Canada, is that in grocery stores, things are either priced by weight, so X number of dollars per pound, and it makes it even more confusing that the pound is the British currency, so I get very confused with pounds and dollars and that whole thing. Or things are priced per item. So let's say we go to the fruit section and we see some grapes, and I look and there's a big sign saying $2, and I get really excited and go, oh wow, you can get this whole bunch of grapes for $2. Maybe, but more likely it's $2 per pound, and it won't actually tell you how much the grapes weigh. More often than not, you have to go and take the grapes to the weighing scale and weigh it, which inevitably will tell you the weight in grams. So then you need to convert grams into pounds and then times that by the price per pound to find the final cost without tax. So really, there is no hope of keeping track of how much you're spending while you're getting groceries. This is a huge pet peeve, and I much prefer the way that we do it in England. The price on the thing is the price of the thing. The second thing on my list is public transport. Now, North America doesn't go in for public transport nearly as much as Europe does. Let's say I wanted to get on a bus from where I am right now to go into town because I want to go shopping. I would have to get on the number 14 bus. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is Black Mountain here. This is where I live. And this is the bus route into town. Except this isn't really town. This is Rutland, which is a considerable distance away from the center of town. So if I really wanted to get into town center, I would have to take 2 buses. But whatever, that's okay. This is the bus timetable. So I would have to get the 12 o'clock bus, which is in half an hour. But if I missed that, it would be another 3.5-hour wait for the next bus. Contrast that to where I was living in Oxford. This is the timetable for the City 15 bus, which would take me from almost my front door through to the city centre. Every 15 minutes, starting from 5:50 a.m, running until 11:20 p.m. But zooming out a little bit further, looking at the cities as a whole, I did a little bit of research and I found some really interesting things. Now, BC Transit, which is as far as I understand, pretty much completely nationalised, so the government runs it, is the transit system here in Kelowna and indeed throughout all of British Columbia. As far as I can tell, one bus system for everyone. It has an annual ridership of 5,676,826. That's quite a lot for a town of 117 odd thousand people, isn't it? That's a considerable number of bus journeys per year. However, when you look and compare it to Oxford, it's quite different. Now in Oxford, immediately the difference was apparent because there are 3 rival bus companies. One of the major companies in Oxford is the Oxford Bus Company. Now, the Oxford Bus Company, according to their 2017 sustainability report, had 23 million passenger journeys. Okay? The second biggest company that runs buses in Oxford is Stagecoach, and they said they had 19.1 million passengers on local bus services in Oxfordshire and on the Oxford Tube. So this includes a bus journey to London as well. But this was 2018 to 2019. The third, which is considerably smaller, but the third company is Thames Travel. And according to them, they had an annual ridership of about 1.25 million passengers per year. So if you add all of those up, that is quite a lot of people that ride the buses every year in Oxford. Prices are also not that bad. The price of a single bus journey in Oxford is very, very similar to the price of a single bus journey in Kelowna. So there's that. And now it's time for a tangent. Now, because everyone drives everywhere in Kelowna and most of Canada, people don't walk places, and because of that, there is usually no pavement. It is very unusual to see any pavement, also known as a sidewalk, anywhere in Kelowna. They exist, but sometimes they just stop when they feel like stopping, and it's a pain. The third thing on my list is cheap phone plans. How much does your phone plan cost, and what does it have included?
Well, my phone plan costs £26.50, and it includes 12 gigabytes of data and unlimited calls and unlimited texts.
Does that include the phone as well, or is it just the SIM?
It includes the phone as well.
Recently, this last year, just switched from a family plan to a self-plan, where I switched from an $80 a month to $78 a month for just myself. And with that, I have unlimited texting, calling across Canada, and really I have 9 gigabytes of data, believe it or not,
Okay.
just with that price. So
And does
it's a lot.
that include the phone as well, or did you have to pay for that separately?
I had to pay that separately.
Okay.
I think it's about £15 a month, I want to say. And I get unlimited texts, unlimited calls, and 30 gigabytes of data.
Okay. Does that include the cost of the phone as well, or not?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't.
I pay $55 a month plus tax, and I get 8 gigabytes of data and unlimited nationwide calling.
Number 4 on the list is £3 meal deals. £3 meal deals, for those who are not familiar with them, is something which most shops that sell food, prepackaged food, will offer. Whether it's Tesco's, Co-op, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Marks and Spencer's, WH Smith. It's a pretty long list. So the great thing about this is it's really versatile. The snacks, you can have crisps, you can have fruit, you can have a chocolate bar, drink, you can have a smoothie, you can have like a fizzy drink, you can just have water, sandwiches, you can have a lot of different varieties, you can even have pasta or something like that if you want, or a salad, and it's only £3. If you bought all of these things individually, often they would come up to £5, £6, something like that. So you're really saving about half by getting a meal deal. And they're pretty good, and they are everywhere. There is nothing equivalent to this in Canadian shops, as far as I have seen. I miss them for the convenience, and I wish we had them in Canada. And the final thing that I really appreciate about the UK, which isn't really such a thing here in Canada, is the amount of visible history in terms of architecture, historical sites, that kind of thing. Now, of course, Canada has as much history as the UK does, in theory, but more people have lived in the UK for longer than have lived in Canada, and therefore there are more visible remains of history in the UK than there is in Canada. Walking around a historic city, town like Oxford or London or many other smaller towns in the UK, you can see different bits of architecture from different time periods, dating back a very long time. And it's really boring if you grow up in those towns and you don't care. But after moving to Kelowna, and everything kind of seems like it's built within 100 years of itself, suddenly the idea of a really old cafe, or a church that's 700 years old, is really interesting all of a sudden. That is the final thing that I miss about the UK, just the amount of historical bits and pieces scattered throughout the country in many different ways. I hope that video was entertaining, enlightening, or interesting maybe. I enjoyed making it, and I enjoyed coming up with these fairly arbitrary lists, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Goodbye!